Let's make a tiny junk journal similar to this one. This is a design team project for the Digital Collage Club. Hello, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Thank you so much for being here. I made this tiny junk journal for my friend Maud in the Netherlands. She has a series in which she is making a fairy dollhouse out of vintage books, and she has inspired me with one of her videos where she made a mini junk journal for her fairies in her little house. So after the video, I immediately tried one out myself in my own style, and I fell in love with it, and I had so much fun making it that I wanted to make another one here with you, because this one is going to Maud, because I think every fairy needs a whole collection of junk journals. Obviously, it's a junk journaling fairy. So let me show you this one. Actually, before I open it, let me show you the outside. So I will write the dimensions here for you in case you want to know. So it has a fabric cover, and then there's 2 eyelets here and the word joy. It has some lace ribbon on the spine, and it has the stitching shown here on the spine because I decided to stitch them through the spine after I had put the lace on it. These are the things that happen when you try it the first time. So I have 2 signatures, and they're sewn in with a regular 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Then I added this little safety pin with 2 pieces of fabric. Here's the back side, here's the top. It really is a true junk journal, made just like a large junk journal, like how I would make a large junk journal. So let me give you a flip through. So the inside cover is fabric as well. See here, so there's a little pocket with some lace and a tiny tag. So this particular junk journal is made from different kinds of papers, like a true junk journal with some coffee dyed papers, some book pages, just, you know, what you would use for a normal junk journal. And then I decorated each page. So I'll just give you a flip through. And I added things like I would in a big junk journal. So there's some napkin behind, there's some lace, there's a butterfly, and all the pages, as you can see, maybe are torn. They're not all the same size. So it truly is a junk journal. Here's a pocket made out of fabric with a little tag. There's some colored book page. Here's just a stamp. Here's an image from a book. And I just used some scraps that I had laying around. Here I even added, I didn't put this back in. This goes into the little envelope, which is in the middle of the signature, like you would have in a big junk journal. Here's a little tag on some beautiful Chinese paper. Here's a little side tuck spot with another stamped tag. Here's a little collage, mushroom and a bit of scrap behind it. Here we even have a little fold out thingy. Some of these images are actually from the Digital Collage Club, like these beautiful cute little owls. There was a little label I found that said joy. Here's a Dutch stamp. This is a bee that is a stamp from a set from the Your Creative Studio boxes that I had, and I just folded it over the page. Here's another side tuck spot with some washi, some lace washi on top, and another tag. This one was made from a children's book. And this is the middle of the second signature with a butterfly from the Digital Collage Club. Another little collage here, a tea bag label with some collaging on top. Some more collaging. and a mini tuck spot with another tag with a tag topper. So that is the cute little journal. I hope Maud will love it. By the time this video is out, Maud should have received it. So hopefully her fairies are having a good time with this. And for the journal that I wanted to make with you today, I wanted to try using a junk journal kit, thinking that it would be easier because I don't have to decorate each page like I did here. So I went to the Digital Collage Club site and looked for journal kits. I was torn between 3 different kits for this particular project. One is the Flower Meadow Journal Kit. One is Mom's Recipes Journal Kit. And the third one is Peter and Friends Journal Kit. And although any of Tina's kits would have worked for this project, I wanted it to be colorful and whimsical because I think that just kind of fits best to this kind of mini journal. And in the end, I decided to go with the Peter and Friends Journal Kit because I thought it would just be the cutest option for a tiny journal. So what you see here are the pages of the kit. Aren't they just so adorable? So if you're new here and you don't know the Digital Collage Club yet, it is a membership-based website with thousands of royalty-free digital collage sheets, vintage graphics, scrapbooking, card making, and digital craft supplies. You get instant access and all images are created especially for this club. Each week, new images are added and you can sell whatever craft items you create with these images. You can get either annual or lifetime access, and I have discount codes linked below. I do want to mention that I receive a commission if you use these links, so you will be helping my small creative business out as well. So thank you in advance if you sign up. I do think it's a really good deal. I have been using the club before I was a design team member, and I'm just having so much fun using all of Tina's cute digitals. So this is how the journal kit looks when it's printed the size I wanted to have it. And again, I will put the size here on the side for you. And I will tell you how I got to this size, what I did with my printer settings. So I opened all of the pages at once. Then I selected all of the JPEG images and I went to File, Print. And then in the printer settings, I first usually change the quality to best quality. And then I go to Layout and I click on, in this case, 16 pages per sheet. So that's what that looks like then, and that gives me this size. And what I'm thinking of doing, because I don't want to make this super fat, I think I will make it a little fatter than this one. And you also see here that the size is a little bit bigger. If you want it exactly as small as this one, I think it should work that you go on the 16 pages or whatever the most amount is that your printer will let you print on one page. And just shrink that down, go in your settings and say not 100%, but maybe 80% might work, or even 90% might work. You'd have to play around to see what size you get and what size you actually want to have. And there are several choices now that you have for how to construct the signatures. The easiest, I think, to do will, so obviously I've cut all these out, and I think the easiest will be to just glue them back to back and then fold them. And then I have my two-sided pages. Now what you could also do if you want some blank pages in between is just before you cut them out, spray the back side of your printout with coffee and let it dry, and then you have some nice coffee dyed pages on the back sides. And I would have done that, but there's too many pages here, so I think I'm not going to do that. And then there's also the ephemera. So the ephemera pages, I think there's 3 if I'm not mistaken now. I also printed in the same way. So I printed all of the kit pages in the same way. And look how small the ephemera is. So that's going to be challenging to work with. But it is so super cute. In this journal, I first made the cover and then made the signatures and sewed them through the spine. I think this time I will do it the other way around. I will first construct a signature and then construct my book cover around that to make sure that it fits and that it's not such a gator mouth from the beginning, that maybe it's a little more flat. Although actually, especially in a tiny book like this, I think the gator mouth is super cute. So I'll have to decide that once I have my signatures done. So the first thing I will do is just glue them back to back, but first maybe I should decide how many pages I'm actually going to have in my signature. And I haven't even counted yet how many there are. So let's see, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that means 4 pages in each signature. So I'm gonna try that out. So I'm just going to glue 2 and 2 together. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I think I'm just gonna glue them on the edges. Make sure they are both the right side up. That would be good. I'll probably have to adjust some of these. I don't know how precisely I cut them, like this. And then maybe I will even tear the edges. But first I'll just glue all of these together and then go on from there. It's so super cute. I just realized what we could do maybe for 2 of these is to not completely close them, but to have a side loading pocket. Meaning I would only glue 3 sides. And then we could make that into a into a pocket. I think that is really cute as well. And I'll do that for 2 of these. This probably wasn't the best. Nah, it's okay. Because I was thinking if I make like a semi-circle here, I would be cutting into this, but that's fine. That is not a problem. So then let's choose another one, not this one because I wouldn't want to cut into this. This looks like maybe it should have been the cover, but I'm going to do something else for the cover. So maybe not this one. I think this one would lend itself very well for a side pocket. But this one not so much, so let's pair that with another one. I did not pay attention to what I was putting together with what. Maybe we'll add this one on the back side, and that works well for a whole. So again, this one, I'll just glue the 3 sides. Hopefully I will remember which ones so that I won't mess that up. Of course, we could have also made a top loading pocket. We could have just glued these 3 sides down and then have actually 2 top loading pockets. But we'll just have 2 side loading pockets, it's fine. Maybe I'll put these separate so I know which ones. And then we just have these. Should we do 2 more top loading pockets? Why not? Why not? Why not? Which ones? This one not, because I don't want to cut any of this off. This would work. Actually, all 3 of these would work. Maybe we'll put these 2 together and these 2. Meaning that, well, yeah, that's actually a good idea because this one is, I damaged anyway. So we'll have these as our top loading pockets. So I'll have 2 of them, 1 on each side. And I'll just glue around the 3 sides like this. Possibilities are endless. I don't know why it's so much fun to make miniature things. But there's something to it. I've never done that before. I've watched others do it. Also, Louisa Heinzel had made a mini journal, but not this mini. She did one for her well-deserved 5,000K subscribers. She had a live, which was really fun. And she made a small one, but it was, I think, about like this small. So not as small, but still super cute. Typical Louise's style. Very, very cute. Okay, so these three are our pockets. And these are the regular ones. Now I need to decide whether I want to tear these edges. Just want to make sure that if I do, that I'm not gonna really lose important parts of the images. Like this one, I would have to really be careful. I don't know, is that what, I mean, I love the torn edges here, right? Like it makes such a huge difference for a junk journal to have torn edges. I love the raggedy look, so I think I need to do that. Now with the pockets, yeah, I can still do it. The top loading pocket though, I need to be careful, which was this one, because if I tear this open, I just have to be careful not to tear all the gluing apart, because then it won't be a pocket anymore. So I'll just have to be extra careful with these. So I'm gonna do it with my tearing ruler, because I do not trust myself to tear these well, just tearing them with my hand. Oh, because of the glue. This is actually, I should let the glue dry, but who has time for that? Or patience for that matter. Just gonna try this. Yeah, okay, but it's hard. I don't know if you could do this by hand well. If you don't have a tearing ruler, you can also, of course, do it with a regular ruler. That would also give you a more rough edge than the cut one. Cut with scissors. Didn't tear at all. That just kind of roughed it up, which I guess is okay too. It doesn't need to be torn. They don't all need to be the same size actually, which is better anyway. Okay, so I will continue to try to do my best to tear these. So I've torn all the edges now. For the top loading one, I really made sure that the sides are still glued together, that there's enough glue here, even though I tore some of it away. And I was just thinking, of course, we could have also made these where we have the side loading pocket. We could have had another pocket on the left side. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Of course, you can just put glue on the top and the bottom and have pockets on both sides. So yeah, wasn't thinking. So now my next step is to fold them each. And I'll use my bone folder. If you don't have one, just use a ruler or the back of your scissors or something. And I'm gonna try to fold them where the image is showing me to fold them, but I am also not being precise. I really don't want this to be precise. If you are a person that loves exact measurements, then please go ahead and do that and don't tear the edges like I did. But that is just the look that I really enjoy. I'm not paying attention to what's going on the inside and what's going on the outside. I will figure that out once I put the signatures together though, just to make sure that not too many similar pages are together. And I might actually add some more pages in between, depending on how thick this is going to be, because I do want this to be a little more chunky. Who doesn't love a chunky journal? And I'm not sure if the fairies are actually going to be writing in these or just use them as inspiration. So I'd rather, you know, fill them up in case they won't write in them. Then at least they have a chunky journal without having to fill it up themselves. I don't know, do any of you know if fairies write a lot in general? I'm not sure. I should ask Maud actually. She's the fairy doll expert here. Oh, that looks like that might be a good first page of a signature with cute Peter here. Okay, so these are our 3 pockets. Now, it's not very smart that I made 3 pocket pages with 2 signatures. Yeah, okay. So that also means, see, I really didn't plan this well, but actually it doesn't really matter. So our first page, if I use this for the first page of the journal, actually I think this needs to be the first page because it has this label here that just kind of looks like a first page to me. Is that a normal one or did we make a pocket? I don't remember. I think this is a normal one. Okay, so this can be our first page. So it has green, green. Then maybe we should pick a blue one next. So we could do this one. And then we can do a pocket page. We can do another green one. So this one has the pocket here. And as the fourth one, we'll do another blue one. Maybe this one, that was a regular one. Yeah, okay, so that's 4 pages. And I can now see, of course, that the middle one is sticking out a lot. So we'll have to see if we need to kind of tear that down further or whether we're just gonna say it's okay. So for the second one, we have this as the first page of the signature. Then maybe we could add one with a pocket. So we have the pocket here on this one. Then we need a normal one, and then we'll do the other one with a pocket. No, where is the other one now? I am so confused. I forgot now which ones had the pockets. I should have first punched the holes so that I know where they are. I'm going to punch the side ones now because otherwise I don't know where they are. So one was here. So I'm taking my circle punch, just doing a tiny heart. So that's one. Ah, this is the top loading one. Got it. Okay, so we'll do one here. It's tiny, tiny. And one here. And the second one, side loading, was here. And I think I have to reposition that because that would make 2 pockets right next to each other. I'll switch it like this. But actually, I also don't like that this one has 2 green ones. This is all blue. I don't like this is all blue, the second signature. We have to mix that up a little bit. So we'll take this pocket and switch it with this pocket. And we'll put this one like this. So this is a center and this is a center. Yeah, that's cute. So now if we put these 2 together, yeah, I think we can afford to add a couple more pages if we compare. I mean, of course, this has all the ephemera already added. Let me see, how many pages did I have here per signature? So with the envelope, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I had 5 pages per signature. So we can at least do 5 per signature here. So let me see what I can find, what kind of scraps I could use in between. I found this scrap of an old German text from a book. So I think this is really pretty. And we can make probably 2 book pages out of this. I actually don't even want them the same size. Don't want to take this apart. I will forget again how they were together. So that way they are a little bit less high. Yeah, that's good. And that can break that up a little bit. So we'll put one in here somewhere. And one in here. Okay, and I'm actually going to add another one. Yeah, at least another one. I have a piece of packaging here, or actually this is from a paper bag. Again, I don't want to make these as high as the other ones. I want a bit of variety in the sizes. That's just more fun. So we'll put one in here. And one in here. One more? Let's do one more. I can't stop. I found a scrap of some vintage map, so I think that's what I will use. Okay, we put one here in the front. So not every printable has one other page in between. That's good. I like that variety. I think that's good. Once we start adding all the ephemera, I think that will become quite thick. And actually, maybe it would make sense to make 3 signatures. But the issue with these small books is it's really hard to sew a lot of signatures in next to each other because the spine isn't going to be huge. So you don't want the holes to tear because they're so close to each other. I almost had that problem here because the spine isn't super wide. Oops, sorry. Spine isn't super wide, and having 2 signatures so close together was really a challenge. So unless I make more space in between them, but 3 of course is much smarter than 2. All right, I'm gonna split this up into 3. So all my planning is for nothing. Oh no. So I'm gonna take everything out again. And now we have to divide everything up in 3, which is an issue because I have 2 of everything. Okay, so we have to do this smart. So first I should figure out, I guess, what my 3rd beginning of the signature would be. What would be cute? Maybe either this one or this one. Let's have this one as the 3rd one. So they each have a pocket now. That's good. This one has 2, this one has 3. So this one has 1 less. Maybe the middle one should have 1 less. That seems like it would make more sense to me. So we'll put this one here. Then we'll put one here and one of these here. Put a map here in the middle and a map in the end. Then we'll add one of these here and one of these here. Let's see if that looks more evenly distributed. Yeah, I think that's better. I have inked everything up. I just put the signatures together with these little clamps because they keep falling apart. I was thinking this is a great project, for example, if you are intimidated to make a full big size or regular size junk journal. This is maybe a good one to start with because everything is quicker and it's just so cute that maybe if you make one of these, it will then encourage you to make a big one afterwards. So I figured since we have 1 less paper in this middle signature, we could maybe add an envelope to it. I have this beautiful paper here, which is from Honey. Honey is the one that sent me this beautiful journal that I showed in a recent video. And I'm going to just cut a piece. I'm just gonna make one of my super simple envelopes. No measuring or anything. Just want to make sure it's not bigger than the page. I love this paper so much. Looks like it was done with a jelly plate. I love the colors of it. Okay, so we'll just fold one part up, making sure it's not bigger than the page. Yep, that should work. And then we'll make a flap. I want to make the flap a little bit bigger than I usually would because this is going in the middle of this signature. So this is where I want the sewing to go. This is a bit crooked, but that is totally okay. So I'll just glue up the two sides. So cute. So now we can put this in here. Now I'm wondering, maybe we should put this one here. Now the question is, do we decorate them before they're sewn in or after they're sewn in? I'm trying to think, what did I do here? I think I decorated these before I sewed them in. Of course, it's easier to sew them in before they are decorated, but it's easier to decorate them before they're sewn in. But you know what? I think we'll sew them in now and then do the decorating. And this time I think I want to make a hidden spine. So that's what we need to do first. I want this to be the background for my spine on the inside. I think this is very cute. This is a regular paper, so I need to strengthen that. So I have a piece of cardstock here, just a scrap, which is thicker. So now I just need to see how wide I need my spine to be. So if we put these next to each other, if we hold them like this, that gives me a good idea. Maybe first I will cut the height. Okay, so I want it to be just a little bit higher. Well, actually, the spine doesn't have to be higher. The spine should be the same height as the signature. So that's here. The fun thing is making a tiny journal like this, you don't have to be precise as with a big journal. So that's a lot more easy to make. This might still be too wide, or maybe not. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with this. So this way the book can stay relatively flat. And I have space in between the three. Yeah, this looks like a good size. So I will glue this onto this paper. And now we need to draw in where our signatures will be. So I can see this here is pretty much the middle. So again, this doesn't need to be precise as with a big journal. I don't care if it's a little bit wonky. That's me. You might feel differently. Okay, and then let's find the middle this way. I'm not measuring. I'm really just doing it what looks right. Okay, so now I have my spine like this, and I'm just gonna make the holes just like I would with a big junk journal. But here I really have to be careful not to tear anything, because that hole, for example, is pretty close to the edge, that one on the left, and I should have a book underneath or something. All right, I think I have some foam. So I have this piece of packaging, which I think will help to make the holes. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, and now we need to do the same thing for our signatures. I'm just gonna hold it here. Try to center this. Now I see where the hole should go. I know I keep saying this, but it is so cute to do this on such a small scale. I could see this becoming very addictive. And before you know it, you have a whole library of mini journals. I guess there's worse things in life. But I'm sure there are many of you watching who've already made mini journals. This is obviously not a unique idea. Many people have made mini journals. But this was my first time making one. Okay, so now we need to sew them in. One of you had asked me where I got this box from. It's just a tea bag box, so you can probably find something like this in any shop that has household articles, Or I'm sure Amazon has them. Just look for tea boxes. There's wooden ones. There's these acrylic types, I'm sure. So I'm going to, I think, choose this blue thread. I think that is going to be cute. And these I cut out by hand. Interestingly, I did not use my die cut for these. I cut all of these out by hand. Don't ask me why. And then I glued them back to back on each other. That was a lot of work, but I'm so happy with these. I think the shape is really cute. So usually when I sew these together, I use 2.5 times the height of the book. In this case, I will use at least 3 because I'm worried that the ends won't be long enough for me to tie a proper double knot. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, maybe even a half, just to make sure. So I'll cut 3 of these to have that done. So you're not actually doing anything less or a lot differently than with a big journal. It's just that everything is smaller and kind of takes less time because it's smaller. So I'm just gonna do a regular pamphlet stitch, meaning I'll just go in the middle. So I'll start with the first row here on my template. I was gonna say on my hidden template. No, it's a hidden spine, but it's not a hidden template. And then we'll go in through the top hole. Oh, this is easier than with the big journal for sure. Then out the bottom. And lastly, back in through the middle again. Hopefully not piercing the thread. Coming out on the other side of that middle thread, and then making sure it's tight and tying a double knot. You could, of course, also start from the outside and end on the outside, and then you won't see the ends at all because they will be hidden behind the hidden spine. But I don't mind the threads showing in the middle. I think it's kind of cute. Okay, so that's our first signature sewn in. So I'll do the same thing with the other 2. They are all sewn in now to the spine. It looks like this. Now it's, I think, a little bit easier to work with now that we just have one block. I will clamp it together for now. So next I want to make the cover for this, but that will have to wait till the next part because we are running out of time, unfortunately. So I hope you join me for that. If you want to catch up in the meantime, you can find a printable that you like, or just do it with scraps like I did in my first one, and then join me for making the cover together and for making some final touches with some tiny ephemera. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!